edition of What's So Funny, the show that probes the brains, the minds, the psyches, and the brains of the people who make the funny. Well, in the tradition of David Allan Coe and McLean, tonight's guest, Shirley Gnome, is doing her best to take the O out of country. Methinks we will again violate our New Year's pledge to refrain from the inappropriate, offensive, or harmful. And yes, folks, that is her real name. Seriously, who would choose Shirley for a stage name? And now a man who is the fourth most famous Canadian guy, your host and MC, Mr. Guy McPherson.
Fourth most famous Canadian guy.
Yes.
Let me see. There's Guy Sadie.
No, he's not in my top four.
Oh,
You're ahead
really?
of him. Believe it or not.
Do you know any other Canadian guys, Shirley?
Oh, let me think. Well, not famous ones. My friend's dad's name is Guy. That's about it.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
he
probably
just has to
ahead
be
of me.
more famous than...
He does. He works like in IATSE in the film world. So he like is on film sets. You know, like wrapping up cable and stuff.
Okay, that's pretty famous.
Guy Patterson.
Guy Patterson, no.
No,
he's
not in there? Oh,
not in
wow.
there.
Who are the others?
Well, we've got, this one is a little bit cheating because it's the Canadian guy, Glenn Foster.
Glenn Foster, former guest on this program, yes?
But the real ones are legendary Canadian film director,
Oh, Guy
Madden. And the number one, I can't believe, since this is a new year, Guy Lombardo.
Guy Lombardo, of course. Wow. Well, I'm in good company.
You are.
Thanks. I didn't know that you actually itemized it, but that's good. And Shirley Gnome, first time on the program.
Yes.
First time talking.
Yes, first time ever speaking.
Yes, to each other.
Yes.
In the past 20 minutes,
Indeed.
we've gotten to know each
So
other.
the key would be to speak into that thing that's in front.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
This old
Yeah,
thing?
that thing. Yeah.
It's pretty big, guys.
No.
No. Stop.
So-
Well, it's an hour more of this, guys.
Yeah, where it's inappropriate.
Yes. I said the show is completely concerned with sex. Because Shirley Gnome, the singer, the chanteuse, I don't know if that's the correct term for you, but I like it.
I like it too.
All your songs concern the nasty.
I believe so, yes.
Are there any that don't?
There is one.
What is that one?
I just wrote it. It's called Time of the Night.
Oh, really?
And
And is it a nice? Like, what is it?
It's about binge drinking.
Oh, okay, so sex and drinking.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. It's kind of about not getting laid, I suppose. So technically it is something to do with the nasty, but it's about the lack of the nasty and the consequential over drinking to fill the void.
Did this singing about sex thing come out because of one song that you just wrote as a lark, and then you just decided to, continue down that path?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what happened. I had the same one song for about 5 years, like a really long time. It was just this one tune I would play every now and again.
Just for your friends?
Just for my friends. Just they all play that song. Yeah, we love that song.
What was that song?
Oh, it was called Big Hard Imagination.
Big Hard Imagination. I think I heard that today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's good.
Yes.
It's,
It's on my old album. It's the first track.
It's funny. We were just trying to sell somebody on your music before the show started, and if they don't know and they think, well, it's just all concerned with sex and filthy language, but there's more to it than that, right? Like, it is literate,
Yeah. I'd like to think it's not
witty.
just it's not smut for smut's sake. It's definitely got hopefully a clever angle to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so people have to hear you in order to
Yes.
Figure that out.
Yes, it's you got to hear it to believe it kind of thing.
We played you over the holidays, just before Christmas.
Nice.
You had a special Christmas sex song.
I did. Yes, I did.
So nice. And radio friendly, too.
I tried my best.
That concept, now that was filled with bleeps.
Yes.
And that was the joke, right?
It really was the joke in that case. It's kind of like that Mae West thing where she said censorship made her whole career. It's like sometimes when you censor things, it's a lot funnier. And it's not something I ever did before, but I thought this would be the time to try it in the spirit of family and Christmas and decency and all that shit.
Yeah, because if you remove those bleeps, the song isn't as good. right?
I think so too. Yeah,
Right? Because it starts out one or two random bleeps, and then by the end, it's just all beep the whole way through.
Yeah, exactly. Someone or a couple of people were, when I did my Christmas show, they really wanted me to play the uncensored version of that song live, and I was like, okay. But the truth is, there wasn't really actually an uncensored version. I planned, like, the beeps were, like, literally the lyrics in that song. So I had to just make up this string of the most disgusting things I possibly could for that show. And it was, it was good, but I think that the original is better.
The original, yes. The radio-friendly
The
one.
radio-friendly.
Yeah, and so you have a couple CDs, right?
I do. I have two.
What are they?
The first one's called Hoedown. It's my first album.
Little play on words there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hoedown. Yes, there's a picture of me on the front cover, passed out in an East Van back alley with a bottle of painted turtle in my hand. So there you go. So that was the first one. It came out in 2009. Jesus Christ. And the last one is called Country Music with the O censored out. And that one I released in October of last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so are you drawn towards country, or is that, again, that you just like the play on words?
Yeah, I didn't even notice the play on words until much later, but I think the reason it all came out country was because when I started playing, when it was at the exact same time I was learning the guitar, and so I only really knew 3 or 4 chords, which lends itself quite well to country music. So that's pretty much all I was capable of.
It was that or thrash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or grunge.
Yeah. When did you learn the guitar?
I was, I picked it up when I was 15, and I learned a couple chords, put it down. And then I picked it up again when I was about 20, 21.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
you're pretty good at it.
I'm all right. I'm decent, as my friend Kirby says. You're a decent guitar player.
You'll take that.
Yeah, I will. It's taken me a long time to get where I am. I'm not really the most naturally gifted guitar player. I've had to really grind it out. That sounded sexual. I can't help it. To learn how to do what I do. I don't have the best fine motor skills. I'm a bit awkward, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do you play other instruments?
I play the drums a little bit, and a little bit of the keys, but not the way I play the guitar. This is my primary instrument.
That's your baby, and you just heard it right there, because Shirley's going to be playing some tunes later.
Indeed.
Looking forward to a live concert right in the studio.
Yes, and I won't have to censor myself this time since it's late at night.
Yeah, what happened last time you were at Co-op Radio?
Well, I was on Michael Wilmore's show, Rock Talk, which is at 9 a.m. on Fridays, and he's such a lovely man, so supportive, and he wanted to play my entire album. So I think we got to the third song in, and we started getting, we got a complaint from a guy who was very upset, and he said if he heard any more of my album, he was going to call and complain to the station manager. So we had to stop, and so we really did. We were like, okay, I can't play this anymore. So, because we didn't want to get like the CRTC or whoever involved, because this guy was extremely upset, very challenged.
Well, hopefully he is not listening tonight. And if you do get offended easily, hey, maybe now's the time to hit the hay.
Or maybe if you're easily offended, maybe you should ask yourself why and talk to your counselor about it next week.
They're just words.
Just words, baby.
Accompanied by music. Yeah.
No biggie.
And they put certain images in your mind.
They do.
But those are okay, too.
Those are great. They're free.
They won't hurt. So are you still learning the guitar, do you think? Like, you're still picking up new tricks?
Oh, yeah. Never stop learning, for sure. Guitar is just endless and fun, and I have a lot of musician friends that I learn a lot from. So I definitely have my own style kind of worked out now, but I always I like to learn new things with it.
You're a musician yourself.
Yeah. I like to think so.
Right.
I write all the songs and stuff. I play it live, this guitar live all the time. I think that constitutes being a musician.
Yeah,
people pay me money. That's a musician, right?
I think so. The CD is very well produced, and these days a lot can happen in the studio to mask one's lack of ability. But you do play live. Yes, I do play live.
Solo. And I played on the album. Yeah, and I was also very adamant that nobody auto-tuned my voice on the album either, because I fucking hate that stuff so much. I hate the sound of it. It gets under my skin. It doesn't sound like singing to me. It sounds like a computer. So I was like, I don't mind having a few sour notes in this,
I didn't notice any.
Oh, thanks. I know where they are.
Well, that's always the case with an artist, right?
Yes, I suppose so.
They're just listening too carefully to each little note, and the average person hears it and goes, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you do have a good voice. And so I know you have a theater background, right?
Yes, I do. I do
So
have
did
theater
you do
training.
musical theater?
Yeah, I did. I did some of that in high school. And even a little bit before that. The only time I took singing lessons, it was musical theater singing lessons when I was 12. So, I loved it. Musical theater is the thing that I saw as a child that made me want to do what I do.
What was the production that made you want to
what was
get
it?
into showbiz?
I'm trying to think of actually what I don't actually. I think I was so little. I was like 4 years old when I can remember coming home from that show. I can't even remember what it was though. It might have been something like, oh gosh, you have to let me think about that. I remember when I was 9. I think they took me to see. Maybe it was Cats or something. It was something like that. You know, it was like Andrew Lloyd Webber, super cheese to the max, awesome, all out. You know, fantastic.
I saw Cats, 1981.
Oh, okay. You're dating yourself there, guy.
I did not enjoy it. But I do love...
Well, it wasn't funny, was it?
No, it wasn't. And I love musical theater.
Yes.
I just didn't like Cats. But
fair enough.
So you were in some productions in high school?
Yeah, in high school.
What'd you play?
Well, actually, most of the stuff I did in high school were all original productions that were written because it's a fine arts high school. It's an arts intensive program. So when you go into theater, they have you writing and producing and directing and tech. All that stuff is done by the students. We didn't do anything, I think, that was pre-scripted ever. I might be wrong about that. We did some little small one-act plays that were definitely written by professionals. But when we did musicals, generally it was through this drama ensemble program, and our theater director, Neil Bryson, and depending on someone, and usually other staff, and the students would all write it. And he would sort of be the main head part of it, organizing everything. But we wrote musicals and performed them.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Do you have these on tape somewhere?
I think on VHS somewhere. Oh
Yeah.
God. Oh God. Yeah, there's some recordings of it. I think around the 11th grade, everything started going digital. So I think there's more recordings from like the 11th and 12th grade. But yeah, there was a couple of different big musical productions we did.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's 9 times 7?
9 times 7. I have to sing my song. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. Oh, it's 63. I had to learn my times tables by music as a child.
I was wondering, because you went to this fine arts high school, if you actually learned any of the basics. And is that how they taught it?
They didn't know. That was elementary school. And that was actually, my mom bought me a tape. I was struggling in math, and she bought me this tape that had all the timetables.
And it worked?
I learned them all in a day, and I never forgot any of those songs.
Wow. As long as you stop and sing them all the way through.
Yeah, look. Hey, I'm not a mathematician. I'm a musician. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was just curious, because I've had quite a few guests on this program who went to some kind of performing high school, and I just don't quite get what you do there.
Yeah, well, the thing is about that school is you do all your regular coursework, you have your languages, you have all your sciences, all that happens, and normally those courses are supposed to be taught at least at the time in 100.
What?
I did. Did you? I can't even help it. I'm so dirty all the time.
We cut it out.
Are you gonna?
We got an 8
second.
We got an 8 second
delay on this. Great, just like the Emmys. Good.
Anyway, I interrupted you.
So 120 hours for most courses in high school, and we would learn them in 90 hours so that we would have time to do all the arts programs. So it was really academically intensive, lots of homework just to have the opportunity to do the things we were passionate about as teenagers.
Oh, wow.
So you actually had to be pretty fucking smart to be at that school to keep up anyway, because it was a pretty intensive workload. I found it harder than university, actually, high school, because of that. I was well prepared.
And a great experience, I bet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think about it now. I talk about it with my high school friends, and we can't even believe how much work we got. You're more energetic and stuff. You also, sleep way more as a teenager. But I was just, sleeping, and then I get up in, 10, 12-hour days at school, and then back home. And it was totally crazy, but awesome for building a work ethic, for sure. Yeah.
We're talking with Shirley Gnome. The show's What's So Funny on CFRO 100.5 FM. I'm Guy McPherson. And Shirley has her guitar on her lap. Can't wait to hear. Have you decided what you're going to play?
I hadn't, actually. I generally don't think about it too much.
Oh, you just let your fingers start playing.
Yeah, I try and feel it in the moment. Feel it in the moment.
And whatever you play will be something that people can buy on your CD?
Yeah, I'll play stuff that you can buy. I won't play it. The new stuff's still kind of working out the kinks, no pun intended, so...
You're full of them.
Yeah, for God's sake. I actually... Oh, okay, well, maybe I'll do that song then. Maybe I'll do a little... something that involves that.
Okay.
Something a little... It is actually kind of a touchy-feely song. God, you know, as soon as you put me in this fucking microphone, I was going to say microscope, it's like the same thing. Everything sounds dirty. I do have a bit of a dirty mind, they say. All right, here we go. Baby, since you've been gone, I've been looking around. I've been looking around for someone just like you. Looking to replace your beautiful face that I just can't erase, but no one will do. I took a dude home from the bar just to try to pretend that I was still with you. He kept on using his real name, even though I asked him very nicely not to. My friends say, don't bother, you'll never find a lover like the one that came before, but I didn't bother, and I tried to fuck your brother, and it made him quite uncomfortable. On the street, in my car, in the grocery store, I keep looking. Even when I look up porn, I look for dudes that look just like you, but they just don't. They don't look like you. They look weird and gross, like they did too many steroids and they got no pubes. You had pubes. You were skinny and fat at the very same time. Yeah, you know I really like that. All the porn that I find, I fast forward, rewind, just looking for you. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is, baby, since you've been gone, I've really started getting into porn. I go to the romantic section. I'm looking for a bit of that love in action. People making videos with their boyfriends and their girlfriends, but it's not enough. Romance is kind of boring from the outside. Maybe there's a couple new things that I could try to turn me on the way you turn me on. So I look up midgets, dildos, instructional videos, gonzo, hentai, spanking, farting, squirting, strap-on, tickling balloons, and foot job, stock crush, females, she-males, diapers, furries. I think I'm watching too much porn. This was supposed to be a song about you, but it's clearly not. Now it's a song about porn. I gotta turn off my computer and go do something useful like the dishes or my taxes. Nothing ever excites me anymore ever since you walked out the door. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I can't stop watching porn. At least all the porn was free.
Love it. Wow, Shirley Gnome live in studio. That was beautiful. Kevin, did you have the auto-tune on that?
Yes, I had to.
Because I didn't hear... that was great.
You fucked me.
We have all the technology here.
God damn it.
That was good. Now, see, that's a great example. Here you're talking about porn and getting right into it, but there's a heart to it.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think that what I sing about, at least people can actually relate to it on some level. Or, you know, I try to be honest, at least, you know, whether people can relate to it or not. Like, I think that's where a lot of the humor comes from, or at least I'd like to think so.
So you try to be honest. Now, what does that mean? What does that tell me about you?
I have very open friends that tell me lots of stories. None of these are about me. I am a decent woman. I stay at home and I wait for the right man to marry, and I I don't do that. This is the thing though, a lot of the songs, some of them I make up the story, some of them are about me, and some of them are about my friends. And then some of them are really tongue-in-cheek. They're not actually like...
Yeah, but I would imagine though, the creeps that come to your show...
Oh, God.
Yeah? Well, so we talk? Because I would imagine that people come up and think, oh, man, this girl goes.
Yeah. They don't... right? Some don't get the joke, let's say.
Right. I mean, a performer, a singer, even though they're talking in the first person, they forget. That could be a character. That could, story, as you say.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
It could be based on maybe a little bit of truth.
Yeah.
Or fantasy. Mm-hmm. Right?
Something like that.
Who are these creeps? What experiences have you had with them?
Who are these creeps? For the most part, the creeps generally are more allocated to the internet, thankfully. Lots of disenfranchised white men. It's the internet. There's a lot of sex on the internet, and there's a lot of like these...
As you just pointed out, yeah.
Indeed, as the story says. So I get a lot of those. I generally find that they figure out that I'm not there to fulfill their sexual fantasies, and that I'm not actually a blonde bimbo or some kind of pay-as-you-go webcam show, or I don't whatever. And then they disappear. So I think most of the people who are actually my fans do get it for sure. And then there's just like drunk people after the show. I honestly think I get felt up more by women than men after shows, though. Like they want to just like this one girl just grabbed my clam like a little hamburger and just squeezed right on it. Oh yeah, wow.
Well, I did see you at the Kingston.
Yes.
I believe, during the competition.
Those were all my bad nights for the Kingston.
People's Champ. Something went wrong. I wasn't watching you. I was behind, but I know that you had your leg up on a stool in your mini skirt.
Yes. Oops.
Showing that clam to the...
Showing the clam.
To everyone in attendance.
Yes.
I thought... I knew what you were doing because I could see from behind, but I thought, if I walk to the front and look, I'm going to look like one of those creeps. So I didn't.
Oh, you're so sweet, guy.
As much as I wanted to.
Or you're not. Yeah. Or like, I don't want them to know. Maybe. Actually, that was crazy. My guitar strap just broke while I was up there, and I only had like 7 or 8 minutes or something like that. I'm like, I don't have time to fix this. So there was a stool there. So I put my leg up there and showed everyone.
To hold the guitar on your knee. Yeah.
Which honestly I think was a great improvement to my set, which I wasn't doing. I was never doing very hot in those rooms. Those were in that room. That was always the time where I sucked. So it was great. And then my friend Brendan Bork, he walked by me like sort of like a drive-by comedy. He's like, I was looking at your vagina the whole time.
Didn't hear a thing you said.
I was looking at your vagina the whole time. He was looking at my vagina the whole time. And I was like, great.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
Exactly, the creep. He's very open about his creepiness, though. So it's good.
And so this competition that you were in, that's where I first saw you.
Right.
And you won it.
I did. The first time you saw me was the clam night?
No, I think I saw you before that at Cosmic Zoo.
Ah, yes, okay.
And then later then I started following you around and stalking you.
Oh, you do strike me as a disenfranchised white guy.
No, I've seen you those 2 times, I think. Maybe once at the Rio. I'm not sure which night you were on. I didn't get to the final, but I was there for one of the earlier.
One of the Rio shows they did, yeah.
So anyway, you won the whole thing, $20,000.
I did.
Did that big, giant, fake cartoon check cash? Was it good?
It did work, and it was a regular. I was hoping for novelty size.
Oh, it wasn't.
No, it was just in this album that's envelope that Patrick had just scribbled first place on. Actually, if you look really carefully at that picture of me getting the trophy, you can see it. It's just like rah. And there was a check in there, and it took a week to clear. It was very exciting. I remember I got my little deposit note back, and it was like my bank statement said $20,076.89.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
That must have been something for you.
It was amazing. It really, I have to say, like completely changed my life because it made me able to do this for a living full time.
So you quit your day job.
Quit my day job.
Which was?
I was a nanny.
Perfect. Of course. Writing sex songs while looking after little impressionable minds.
It was nanny by day, dirty country singer by night.
Yeah.
I tried to...
Did they know that you were doing that?
The last family I worked for, yeah, they knew. And they're fully supportive. They think they like burlesque. They're very progressive, open-minded, wonderful people, and they thought it was really cool. Yeah, and it worked out. I didn't actually necessarily have to quit because they were about to go on maternity leave for their next kid, so she was going to stay home anyway. So it just kind of worked out.
Did you like being a nanny?
Yeah, I really do. Like it was. The only thing that was hard about it was just the early hours with the late hours, like the performing really late and then the getting up really early.
And then having to entertain kids.
Oh, yes, who, of course, are just, they constantly need stimulation and attention.
How old?
This was
She
3.
doesn't know.
Well, it was over a long time.
How many of them were there?
I'm pretty sure
not
there were 5, maybe 6 at one point. I lost one at one time. That was pretty weird. It's cool though. No, yeah, it was just the one little girl I was taking care of, and then another family I was taking care of a little boy who was 1, and so, yeah. But
so that's going to be good, as you go on to fame and fortune, that you were a nanny, going to fame and fortune as this smutty songstress. And you started out, you mentioned burlesque.
Yes, burlesque is kind of.
But you weren't a burlesque performer.
No, not in the. I was not shaking my titties around. At least not with just tassels.
Just flashing your badge.
I just flash. But I'm classy. I'm not like those burlesque girls with their boobs and their underwear. No, I just show off my gash for a contest.
Oh,
no, I had my one song, and in 2008. Was it? Yes, it was 2008.
The one you mentioned?
What did I mention?
The
one song you played for your friends.
Yeah.
Big Heart Imagination.
Right.
I had that one, and my friend Katie, she was putting on a fundraiser burlesque show at the Wise Hall. She's like, "Come and do your song. It'll be awesome." I'm like, "Oh, I've never performed this in public. I don't know." But I went up there. And I did it, and it went over like stupidly well. People went bananas in the crowd, and they were like, "Where's your CD? Where's your CD?" So then I did the same burlesque show a year later. I wrote a bunch more songs. Or no, that's actually not true. Is that true? Am I drunk right now? Why can't I remember my own past? I'm getting
make something up.
I'm getting so old. I think I did. Oh, no, that's what it was. I had the one song. She wanted me to do 2, so I wrote another one. So I did 2 songs that night. Then the next year, I wrote 6 more songs over the course of that year. Made a little album. Did that at the burlesque show. And then once the CD started getting out, all the burlesque people started knowing about me, and I started doing burlesque shows every couple of months. Very sporadically, I would do my couple of songs that I had. And that's basically all I did up until last year. Or like the year, or November of 2010.
And then how many songs have you written now?
27 or 28, I think I'm up to.
And you just keep going?
They just won't stop.
Well, clearly,
I am a
just
conduit
opening
for
your
these
mouth and double entendres pour out.
I know. Yeah, it's. I literally can't stop it from happening. It's fucked. Really.
When did you make the transition to comedy rooms? Was it in the competition?
Yes. Not in the competition. So the year. So that where the hell are we? We're in 2011. Yes, 2011, November 2011. I had a friend, Gio. He's working at Hyde Restaurant on Main and 14th, and they have a comedy, or they had a comedy night there on Mondays that James Masters put on. And he was like, "Come down and do your song Penis Hand. I love your song Penis Hand." I'm like, I'm not a comedian. I can't do it. I'm not. It's not like it's cute, but I don't. I wasn't really feeling like I'd fit in with the stand-up scene. I really didn't think it would work. And he's like, I'll give you free bourbon. And so I was like, okay.
I'm there.
Yeah. All right, fine. I don't give a shit anymore.
So he's a cheap drunk.
You know. Booze before ego. So I went down there. I played a couple of songs. He had to basically convince James, who'd never heard me, just let her do her thing. And he was like, okay, hope this is good. They loved it. James loved it. He's been really great about getting my name out there, too. And so he sort of introduced me to more people who booked little indie rooms. And it just took off from there. And I started doing that. And then about 5 or 6 months in, I started headlining the indie rooms. And a lot, and it really just took off. And then the competition was kind of the next thing after the starting to headline. So
Yeah, so, like, had you not heard other comedians doing funny songs before?
Well, I
I mean,
have.
right here in this town, the Wet Spots.
Yes, the Wet Spots.
Right? I mean, they started out and they were working in laugh lines and places like that.
Yep.
I mean, I guess they eventually got to the comedy rooms, but it did great.
Uh-huh.
And they're singing their smutty songs, too.
Yeah, totally. I guess I didn't. I never actually saw them live until a couple of months ago because I kept hearing about them and stuff, and I listened to a little bit online and all that. But but they weren't. There weren't people I knew or I'd seen doing.
Right.
They weren't really necessarily forging a path for me, which is too bad. They maybe would have helped out, but or could have helped me just to know more about them. But and I guess I have a lot. I love a lot of musical comedy for sure. Mm-hmm. So I never. Like on this, like the how do you get out there? I never thought that comedy was maybe where I would fit, and I guess I didn't really, I didn't think that this project, doing these songs, was going to become as big as it has now. I didn't give it that expectation, so I always sort of just went with if people asked me to do it, I did it. I didn't really pursue it my own thing, so I kind of let the path sort of lay itself out for me with people encouraging me to do it, which is probably why it took me 4 years to, start doing comedy nights, since when I started performing it.
We are going to listen to a track from your latest CD.
Okay.
And I'm going to clear my throat. The song is called James
and the Giant Peach.
James and the Giant Peach. So this is a kid's song. This is from your days being a nanny,
yes.
Obviously.
This is one I used to play for the kids
yeah.
when they were having their cereal in the morning. I'd be like, y'all like small dicks?
Oh, God.
I like how you just chime in when I get really, like when I start really being myself.
Over the edge.
Yeah.
You like dicks in there, Kevin? You like dicks? Hey, you like small dicks? You got a small one, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, you got a small dick?
His mic is off now.
My mic's off, and yours is going to be off soon.
Oh, shit. I hate it when sound men get all power trippy.
Shirley Gnome is our guest. The show's What's So Funny on CFRO 100.5 FM. I'm Guy McPherson, and from Shirley's new CD called
Country Music.
Country Music without the O, James and the Giant Peach. Shirley Gnome from the album Country Music. Shirley is our guest here live in studio. Kevin had his hand up all throughout that song.
He was partying so hard in there. Yeah. I almost thought he was going to whip it out. He was just so proud.
And you were saying to me that I was really getting into it. But you know what? This is why. I mean, not only is it great lyrically, but it's great musically.
Thank you. Cheers.
And that's got to be a big part of it, right? You can't just come out and, talk smut or whatever. It's got to work lyrically and musically.
Yeah,
it's got to have a good hook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think what I hear from a lot of people is that they actually just really enjoy the music. And they enjoy my voice and stuff. And that's a part of what people like about it. It's not necessarily just the funny element of it or the lyrics, but they just really enjoy the musical element, which is great.
Yeah. So, I mean, now it's so you describe yourself as a musician, which you clearly are earlier. Do you describe yourself as a comedian too?
Yeah, I think I call myself like a comedic performer. I think that kind of sums it up a bit better. Because I'm certainly not a stand-up comic, but I'm definitely not just a musician. So,
well, your patter is funny though. In between songs,
it's getting better. yeah, it's true. And actually, I'm going to MC my first show. Kevin Fox does a show called Kits and Giggles at This
down
Place.
At This Place. I love that show.
Yeah, it's great. He puts together an amazing lineup. There are always these really, really awesome people. So he says, you can be an MC. You're going to do it. So I think in March, in February. I don't remember. Details and logistics.
Every Wednesday night at This Place in Kits on 4th.
Yes, they have a great show. So I'm going to get to try out my MC thing, which will be interesting. And, banter and all of that. I'll see if I can do it.
Well,
I think good. I can do it.
Yeah, this is your career. People are sort of pushing you to the front and getting you to do things that are a bit out of your comfort zone.
Yes, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So it's good, and it's fine if I completely fuck it up. It'll be fine because it'll be a learning experience. But I think I'll be bringing my guitar. I'll be playing some tunes in between for sure, and I'll just I don't have like jokes. So usually when I banter, I'm just improvising or playing off the crowd. So I'm just going to not think about it. Just go in and have a good time. But yeah.
And you always have your songs to fall back on.
Exactly. If it's totally.
That's right.
If I'm destroying the show, and MCs are supposed to like bring the energy up constantly. So if I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like having a killer chunk as a comic, right? They can try other things. And they know that if they go to this bit of material, it's going to kill every time, and your songs are like that.
Exactly. So I'm going to try out that theory.
Yeah. Now, listening to this song was great produced. You must be proud of that album.
I am. And that's, I think, my favorite song on the whole album.
Is it? Why?
I think because I like the music the most. I think my musician side of it really just loves how that song came together. There's like a folky element to it. There's this like reggae funk element to it. So I just like the music, and I love what my friends did on it. So,
how do your family feel about hearing?
Oh, they love it. They're very supportive. Very supportive. My parents actually have matching shirts. Shirley Gnome's dad on my dad's, and Shirley Gnome's mom on the other with a big treble clef. Oh, yeah.
So what kind of parents are they?
The best parents.
Yeah.
They played me like, Lenny Bruce and Adam Sandler and Cheech and Chong when I was a kid. And my dad, he was not one to censor me from hilarious or offensive kind of stuff. Certainly, I mean, I had to be a little bit ready for it, but I grew up in a kind of a liberal household. So when I turned out like this, he was over the moon proud.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, because you have the talent as well, not just talking about your sex life.
That's true. If I was just out there doing a one wet woman show cabaret thing where I cried the entire time about my sex life, he might not be so proud.
Did you say one wet woman show?
Sure, whatever you think.
That's what you said.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Balls. Might as well just
Shirley Gnome. Gnome obviously is a stage name.
Yes, it's a nom de plume stage name.
Why gnome? Like that's an ugly little
grubby little
creature.
Dirty little
Oh, so it's the dirty little songs, I guess.
Dirty little songs.
Is that why you thought of that?
Yeah, I think basically the story behind the gnome thing was that as a young woman, a teenager, we'd be hanging out and everyone's having a great time and be like, oh, da, da, da. I'd be like, yeah, balls in your ass. Like this really dirty thing would come out of my mouth. And everybody would be like, oh, God. And I'd be like, it's not me. It's this little gnome that lives inside me. It tells me to say these things.
Right.
So I started saying that. And so everyone would go, oh, there's the gnome again. So this was a joke for many years. The gnome's talking. And that's certainly the part of me that writes these songs.
The alter ego.
Indeed. So when it came time to name my act, it was pretty easy to call it the Gnome.
So your website,
yes,
ShirleyGnome.com.
Indeed.
GNOME, by the way, says you're a white trash burlesque and comedy performer. Now, that is the character that's white trash? Because you come from a fairly liberal household, I would imagine. I know
white
you're
trash families are liberal. They fuck each other and stuff. It's pretty liberal, hey? Some would say incest is very progressive.
So are you saying that your family... no, I know you come from Surrey.
Yes, Surrey.
Now, do you really define yourself as white trash?
I feel like Surrey rubbed off on me in the best way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that when I first started doing this, I was a lot trashier. I looked terrible. I wore a lot of fishnets and short jeans and ripped shirts, and my hair was very messy, and I was usually extremely drunk when I did shows. So I was a lot trashier. And then when I did the comedy shows, I had to kind of clean up because I wanted the songs to be the joke, not me. So the white trash thing is still definitely there. And I'm still, you get a couple beers into me, and that's definitely what you get. It's pretty trashy. But,
you like to drink, do you? You like to tip one back?
I like to tip 1 or 7 back.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, but nothing in between.
I want to hear another live song because that was so fantastic. Okay. We heard the CD, right? And if you come to see Shirley live and you're performing like tomorrow, right? Somewhere?
Indeed. I am performing tomorrow. I'm headlining at Comedy on the Corner at the Sin Bin, which is 295 West 2nd. It's a show that's going to be emceed by Kyle Jones. It has a whole bunch of other comedians. And I'll be doing a nice long set of what I do. And there's 59-cent garlic prawns, which is really the selling point.
That's what got you.
I'm in for that show.
So when we see you at the Sin Bin or elsewhere, this is how we hear you. Just you and your guitar.
Me and my guitar and a complete lack of decency.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying. What you got for us this time?
Let's see. How about... Let's do... so many to choose from.
Yeah.
I know. I'll do a little ditty about the time that I tried to be an accommodating, giving lover and failed.
So this is from your real life, this one?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
This is called Ménage à Trois. It is totally from my life, by the way. My lover came and he said to me, I got a little fantasy. It's all about you, it's all about her, and it's all about me. Now we can go home and enjoy each other. There's so much more love with another lover. Don't tell me you can't see the beauty of her. It's all about the foreplay. So forget about her for JJ. To turn this down, you'd be crazy, Shirley. So why don't you and me make 1 + 2 make 3? Well, that's really great, but I'm really straight, so get her away from me. Get that stinky vagina right out of my face. Get that stinky vagina right out of my face. Well, he stopped me right there on the patio stairs. Put his hands in me underwear. Suddenly, he got more persuasive. Or maybe it was that bottle of whiskey. Drinking that shit always makes me frisky. Before you knew it, we were getting down to it. Second basing. Don't knock it till you try it. You can bake or steam or fry it. Now I won't just imply it. 'Cause all of us got naked and crawled into my bed. It was all really great, but I'm still really straight, just like I thought. So get that stinky vagina right out of my face. I don't care how drunk I am, the badge is a nasty place. It's like a baby slug crawled into a peach, and the peach began to rot, and it got all rubbery, and it rolled under the couch, and it got covered in hair, and the bitch somehow she found it, and she shoved it in her underwear. Ew. So I said to him, I'm not doing that again. 'Cause I think you're really great and I'll always be straight, and that's why I like fucking you. So how about next time you bring over another dick? 'Cause now you owe me 1 man on each tit, 1 man on each tit, and 1 hand on each dick.
Awesome. Shirley Gnome. Yeah, so good. Like, are you going to be performing around, like the Wet Spots? They took off from Vancouver,
Yeah.
right? And, they performed at, in Melbourne at the Opera House and
Yeah.
all over the world. Like,
They did. They went everywhere.
and you have a bit of a following online from
I do.
YouTube. But is anything growing out of this where people are inviting you to play their towns?
A lot of people are inviting me to play their towns, but then I go, well, where? And they go, they don't really. Well, I'll ask around, and then I don't really hear anything. I'm hoping to do some touring. That's the idea. I'm still like kind of building and figuring out what I'm doing. A lot of it is so new to me about how to book these things. But I did have some interest from a company in London, or in Scotland, in Edinburgh. It's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
All right.
So maybe I'll get to do the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. That would be incredible.
That would be incredible.
This is a very much like a sort of a up in the air kind of a thing. It's not decided or anything, but I think something like that, all along the lines of that, is something I'd like to aim towards, and getting out there and just seeing where else this will play out and where people will enjoy it. And generally, the way that this project has gone is it's really kind of sort of fallen into place over time. Like as I get better, the opportunities come. So I just keep getting myself out there as much as I can and seeing what comes. So
it's universal, though, like these songs.
I'd like to think so, right? Especially because
everyone would enjoy them.
I would hope so. That's what I hear. I'm very encouraged by that, and because the Christmas song made it really far. Like it got me a bunch of YouTube followers from a whole bunch of different places that all found them kind of through the sharing of the video. So that was really cool, just to see that it could actually play in these other places. And so I'm hoping more videos will get me out there to around the world the way that YouTube can do, and see what else opens up because of that.
Well, judging by the way your career has gone, and you always need that push. Yeah. Like, do you have management or an agent or something working for you? I
have a couple of people that are rooting for me. I don't say I don't have like an official management team or anything like that, but I have some people that that are definitely on my side. So many people really believe in what I'm doing and really think that it's going to be a big thing. So a lot of people want to help me. Like, they really want this to succeed. Not only believe, but really truly want that for me. So like Patrick Maliha, who put on the People's Champ, he's been incredibly supportive and helpful for me. A huge resource of like when I'm booking shows, like, is this normal? Am I supposed to do this? He's been good about that. I think he's going to maybe book me some stuff this year as well, which will be great. And then there's Patrice Brett over at Jeff Turner Entertainment. She's got me on her roster, so hopefully she'll be bringing me something. And then everything else, I mostly just self-manage and book my own things. People come to me, and I've been managing pretty well. I'm learning a lot as I do it, but it's been going well so far.
Sounds like you have some comics that sort of champion you. You mentioned James Masters, Kevin Fox, Patrick Maliha. Mm-hmm. How did they all feel when you were in the competition and winning like every night? Was there sort of jealousy, like, hey, wait a second, this isn't stand-up comedy?
I've heard rumors of that here and there, of people of being wary of me a little bit, and not, I think jealous is, I mean, I've only had one comic be like, I used to be jealous of you and I put you down, and then I realized you're really talented and I'm sorry. Like, I've actually had an apology from a comedian, but I'm pretty sure he was just trying to fuck me, so it probably wasn't true. But no one's ever been critical to me. None of the comedians have been like to my face.
Oh, that's
like,
good.
You know? The competition was incredibly stressful on the comedians. It was because of the nature of it. It was really, really difficult, and I saw a lot. It was
a month-long thing.
It's actually 7 weeks long. 7 weeks, but okay. You did like I think the first 4 weeks were each rounds of the prelims, so you did one of those weeks, and then it was 8 weeks. You did 3 weeks altogether if you made the finals. And for the people who were in the semifinals and then directly into the finals, where they were performing 6 nights, and then they had 1 day off, and then another 6 nights, it was really hard. And the pressure is really intense, because these people, like, literally out in the crowd judging you and writing down your name on ballots, and there was a lot of tension backstage with comedians and stuff. So it was really challenging, but I don't personally like it. I feel like most of the time I was really supportive of other people and concerned, and I felt the same from a lot of the comedians. I made a lot of friends out of it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. The criticism of it was that it was, you get your friends to come out and vote, and then you'll win. Yes. But I think everyone saw that, talent won out. I mean, not to say that the others weren't.
No,
it's
absolutely
just that it wasn't that you were undeserving to win just because you had a guitar and you were different. Yes, exactly, which is nice. And I certainly, my friends definitely came out. And then people I didn't even know started coming out to support me, which was totally crazy too. And typically, like, I'd go home and I'd count the points. I'd be like, okay, so
this many of my friends came. So assuming they all voted for me, which they might not have, they might have lied. And then I would subtract those points and then be like, okay, so this many people voted for me. Okay, so people actually do like me.
You still won out. You won some people over.
I did, and I had to. I wouldn't have been able to win the whole thing had I not won over a bunch of people who were there. So that was a relief because I certainly wouldn't have wanted to win that and not have earned it. So
have you spent the whole $20,000?
No, I haven't. Amazingly, I invested it all back into my career. So I put I paid off some of the bills. I had incurred a lot of debt from trying to finish the album because I was working on the album the year before. It took me a year and 2 months to finish the album. I had to do it really slowly because I didn't have any money. It was all freebies and favors and credit cards. So I paid off my debt with some of the money that I got and finished the album with the money as well.
Smart cookie.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've certainly wanted to blow it on a bunch of crazy shit, but I didn't. I did buy a couch, and I bought a beanbag chair and a vibrator.
Crazy. Do you have a fella in your life?
Wow, that's a personal question.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you never talk about personal stuff.
The only men that I'm with are in my songs.
Okay.
I don't do that whole relationship thing.
Oh, yeah. Your career is your relationship.
Exactly. I'm married to little Marty right here.
Martin, the guitar.
Yeah.
Which song are you most, or has there been one that you've written where you're a little hesitant to perform it because I don't know if I even want to be saying that?
Ooh, I don't get uncomfortable saying shit.
I
don't. But I do notice there are certain topics that make other people really uncomfortable. I have a song that I think is really funny. It's on the album. It's called Mementos of Love. And it's supposed to be like this sort of lovesick, forlorn song about the things left behind, and it's all totally gross things like stains on the bed sheets and pubes in your razor and all that kind of stuff. That's the joke. And at the end of the song, it's revealed that I've gotten herpes from the last person I'm with. That's my ultimate memento of love, is I have an STI. When I sing that song, sometimes the audiences just go really quiet. Like herpes makes people really uncomfortable. It's crazy. And then I have to stop. And so when I do that song, and if I do it, I stop and I'm like, we need to talk about what just happened. Mm-hmm. And I turn it into a big counseling session. And usually that makes it more awkward. But I notice more just what makes other people uncomfortable and not laugh, as opposed to what makes people uncomfortable and laugh.
Right, because that is the exception.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to do that song first?
Sure, yeah, I'd
before
love
we
to.
Go?
Yeah. What time is it?
Yeah, we're over, but that's all right.
It went so fast. I was having such a good time. My goodness. Okay. Let's see. All right. Since I've already revealed the entire song and all the punchlines. Yes, now we'll see why, if I tried to do this as a stand-up comedian, it wouldn't be funny, and why you put it to a couple chords. And it is. I was cleaning behind the bed when I found the cum rags that you left. They were tiny and crumpled and scattered about. They were crusty and dried out like our love. Our crusty love. Oh, our love. Our dried out love. When I went to throw them out, I cried as I walked the halls, 'cause I found the razor full of your pubes from when you asked me to shave your balls. Like our love, I shaved our love. Oh, our love, will it ever grow back? Until this yeast infection goes away, I'm gonna think of you. I look out the window and I'll start to wonder, do you have a yeast infection too? Oh, mementos of love. Oh, Mementos of love. Ooh. And although it gave me the blues, I recycled the sex toys we used to use. To use them with a new love would cut too close, and it would be unsanitary and gross. Just like our love. Our love was gross. Oh, love. Yeah, love is totally gross. I got a funny rash that started to spread. You know, I kind of think that was you. So I look out the window and I start to wonder, do you have a funny outbreak too? Oh, mementos of you. I think I'll always remember you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. See, you clap. That means you're not uncomfortable with the concept of herpes.
In song.
In song.
That's right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, that was great. Shirley Gnome, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Getting to know you. And great singing. I just love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
And the CD as well. Country music available
on iTunes and CD, baby. Or come to a show and come and meet me.
Tomorrow night at Sin Bin, you're headlining. Mm-hmm. Kyle Jones is emceeing. He'll be here for his first visit to our show in a few weeks.
Oh, nice. Be careful. He might pee on you.
What?
Well, you didn't hear that from me.
We'll keep him in the other room then.
Very good idea.
So great. Thanks a lot, Shirley.
Thank you for having me.
Next week, our guest will be Monica Hamburg, another young woman who...
Sorry.
What?
No, she had a call.
Oh, she had a call.
Well, I don't know what the call was, but I didn't
Was it someone complaining?
No.
It was positive?
I think it was positive.
Was it crazy? I attract crazy people sometimes. God love them.
Female or male?
Yeah.
Okay.
Male?
Got it.
Androgynerific.
Got it, yeah. Shirley Gnome. Yes, next week, Monica Hamburg will be here. Another woman who's got to have it. Completely concerned with sex. So 2 weeks in a row.
Lovely.
Yeah. All right. Shirley, thanks. Oh, do you have another show coming up besides tomorrow?
February 22nd will be Shirley Gnome's Efficient German Dance Party at the Anza Club. First we laugh and then we dance.
Sweet. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Good night.